For another hero stream. This is probably gonna be the last one for this. I'm pretty sure we're near the end. I think if I remember correctly last time, I looked up it was only like 20 chapters, and we're at about like 15 or 16. Give me a second. Alright. Okay, there we go. So we last left off. We're about to go on our way to the HoT presentation. Next chapter, Night of Your Life. Who the fuck is talking? Oh, this is just randos talking. So do you think it'll be this year? No one knows, but I'm putting my money on that Tumbleweave character. What the fuck? I don't know who the fuck Tumbleweave is. That's a name. Really? I was betting on Black Diamond. His knife skis are quite fetch. Where have these people been? I had to deal with fucking black magic and rebellion. These basic bitches. Where the fuck were Tumbleweave and Black Diamond with his knife skis? This is the kind of superhero shit I want. Let's see. Do you think they have the hero out here with us or hiding away somewhere backstage? Why would they be backstage? It's a big public event. You overhear two women whispering loudly nearby, their diamond earrings jangling as they gab. It still hasn't quite settled in that they're talking about you, that this whole damn party is for you. It all seems to be happening at warp speed. You really should be ecstatic, but one thought dominates the others. Grandma should be here with you. Why couldn't she come? You could have found her, you could have stopped her. It was not an option really given to us. Please keep in mind, as usual, I will not remember anyone's fucking voices that I gave them. At this point, I've just accepted it. I'm not gonna remember them, and I kinda don't want to. I'm just gonna friggin' play it by ear, give them new voices on the fly. You scan the crowd to distract yourself, taking in the gorgeous gowns and elaborate costumes in the room. It's littered with socialites, politicians, and famous heroes. Everyone who's anyone Mick is invited to the HoT party. Of course, the elites of the press world are also all in attendance, along with dozens of aspiring heroes invited to the party to act as decoys for you. Rude. You try to see if you can spot Sonia, but it appears she still hasn't arrived yet. Her whole thing is that we can't see her, that she hides everywhere from us. Why? We probably wouldn't see her even if she wanted us to. The author of the HoT profile is usually an aspiring writer as well, so their identity is kept just as secret as the inductees. That doesn't make sense. Perhaps that's why you haven't seen Sonia here yet. You can't help but be a little worried, though, considering she hasn't answered any of your calls since you arrived. This bitch is not becoming our Lois Lane. She's been nothing but an asshole this entire time. If she jumps off a cliff like Lois Lane often did, we ain't helping. Luckily, the organizers of the event and some key members of the HoT board were here to greet you and fill you in on this evening's proceedings in private. Right now, you're just supposed to enjoy the party and mingle a bit. So you decide that that's what you're going to try to do. Who do you want to talk to? Let's see, Rexford Schiller's, Mayor Victon, Virtuous Reality Video Games Excites, the Diva, Tarana Rain's parent. Okay, fuck the rich guy. I do want to talk shit to him, to the mayor, but I'd rather just, cause him problems than confront him directly unless we can murder him. No one cares about the virtuous reality video game shit. Diva seems pretty chill. We want to build up a rapport with her. I don't want to talk to Tarana Rain's parents because they're probably going to cause problems because if we bring up, oh, hey, your kid's my sidekick, they're like, what? So we'll go with the Diva. Since you don't spot any other group members, you assume the Diva must be here representing the entire team, which is just as well, since you're not sure what you would do, what you would to say to Black Man. Okay, fucking typo, that one wasn't on me. If she were here anyway. Diva, you say as you approach, tilting to kiss her on both cheeks. So good to see you. The Diva wears another stunning costume, an ivory jumpsuit paired with a puffy shrug made of silver chiffon. A large ruby sits in the center of the diva's chest, connecting the shrug to the jumpsuit. The pink soles of the diva's high-heeled boots glow on the marble floor, raising her height to a commanding 6.5 feet. Did they establish she was tall? I literally remember nothing about her. Yes, darling, the diva says. I was terribly sorry to hear you didn't make the group. Someday I will, hopefully, you say, even though you kind of screwed the pooch on that one since you outed the asshole for being an asshole, and then he proved, hey, I'm not an asshole, even though he definitely is. Well, that's so sweet, the diva laughs, leaning in to whisper in your ear. Black Magic sends her regards, by the way. The diva then straightens up, offering you a knowing stare. As your ears turn in a bright shade of red, you quickly say your goodbyes. This is not something you want to get into with the diva right now. Yeah, 'cause we fucked her bitch. That's what she gets, talking down to us. That's what happens. That's why you don't fuck with Captain Thunderificent, the 21st Esquire. You still have some time before the official ceremony begins. Who else do you want to talk to? Oh, fuck, do we have to talk to at least, like, 2 or 3 people? Shit, okay. Fuck it, let's talk to the chick who we just blew off and ignored. The executive, who could never remember your name, stands in the corner, draining a martini glass. Since you didn't turn in the last report you were paid for, you probably shouldn't approach her. However, you're in costume, she'll have no idea who you are. Hello? Oh, fuck, that was supposed to be me. Hello, you say as the executive heads to the bar. I'm Captain Thunderificent, the 21st Esquire. She looks you over with disinterest. She must get approached by wannabe heroes all the time, especially since her name tag indicates she works for Virtuous Reality Games. She gives a polite nod and orders another martini. Oh, so she's getting stinko tonight. What brings you here? You ask, happy to be making her as uncomfortable as possible. Yes!
We're making a video game on this year's HoT, she says, snatching her drink. The game will follow that hero teaming up with all the past HoTs.
I feel like you need, like, it's like a major licensing thing. You need to pay a lot of people for that shit. That sounds promising, you say with a smile. Just then, the executive tilts her head slightly.
Hey, have we met before?
Best of luck with the game, you say quickly, turning to go. Satisfaction pours over you. A few short weeks ago, you were testing video games, and now they'll be making a game with you as the star. Things could be worse. You try to decide who to talk to next, scanning the crowd once again, but that's when you spot someone who makes you do a double take. It's Jenny, and she's not in her usual ponytail getup. She's wearing a floor-length nude dress that clings to her slender frame, with surprising elegance. She stares at you from across the ballroom, waving sheepishly. You make your way over to her, smiling widely. Jenny looks stunning. The dress is so unfair. What? No ponytail. Just be kind of an asshole. Fuck, what voice did I give her? I gave her like a deep voice. Don't make me punch you in public, Jenny says, smiling back at you. How are you here right now, you ask, feeling immediately guilty for not telling Jenny about the HoT party sooner. With all that happened with Grandma, you couldn't really bear to face anyone, especially not Jenny. Well, since you rudely forgot to invite me, Jenny says, not stopping to let you apologize. Your grandmother called me. She didn't know you'd want to be... Sorry about that. Your grandmother called me. She didn't know you'd want her here. If you'd want her here, she asked me to come. She asked me to come. I gotta stop. Gotta stop doing like the diaphragm deep voices. They always make me fucking yawn. Hearing this, your heart threatens to crack in half. Let me tell you, finding a formal wear on such short notice was not easy, Jenny says, adjusting the straps of her dress. But you just try to keep yourself together, asking, where's Grandma? Is Grandma alright? What did Grandma say? She's alright. She was still with Tarana Rain last I spoke to her. She was going to head back home once then she knew you'd... Oh, fuck, I can't. Oh! I'm dedicated to the voice at this point. I refuse to change it. I don't care. Jenny says, putting a hand on your shoulder. Listen, this is incredible news, Captain Thunderificent. You have to... What Grandma did was wrong, you say, cutting Jenny off. But still, she should be here. I know, Jenny says, but you're poofed, Agent, and I probably wouldn't have allowed her to come anyway. I would have made it rather easy to unearth your identity. One look at the old lady sobbing in the front row and your cover would have been blown. You nod. Jenny's right. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop you from feeling completely awful. But we can't sort... Fuck! Well, we can sort all that out later. Jenny starts, lowering her voice to whisper. Captain Thunderificent, this whole thing is bloody outrageous. How did it even happen? You must tell me everything. You're about to fill Jenny in on the whole Sonia saga when you realize that you still haven't heard from her. You were sure she'd want to go over the details of the reveal with you before things started rolling. I'll tell you everything in 1 second. I just have to take care of something, you say, stepping away from Jenny before she can protest. You walk into the hallway and ask Meatship Bunk... Fucking goddamn it. Goddamn... Stupid machine. You walk into the hallway and ask Meatship Bunqueequee to call Sonia again, a request that doesn't go over well. All these calls to Sonia, and not a single one to Black Magic, Bunqueequee mutters while dialing, ignoring your incredulous Meatship. I thought we got that fucking set that we could change her personality and shit. If she's explicitly supposed to be irritating, why did we pick this? Ignoring your incredulous Meatship, you sigh as Sonia's phone starts to ring, fully expecting to be directed to her me-mail yet again. God, yeah. Which is why you nearly jump when Sonia actually does answer, her holographic image flashing in front of your eyes. Except it's not Sonia you see. It's frickin' Leather Bitch, isn't it? It's Prodigal, yup. God damn it. She looks as statuesque as ever, wrapped in her red striped Kevlar bodysuit. She stares at you with her arms folded, a grin stretching through her face mask. My little Captain Thunderificent the 21st Esquire. I thought you'd never ring, Prodigal says. Don't you know it's rude not to call a girl back after the first date? A million questions begin to run through your mind, but you try to keep focused, deciding to ask. So where's Sonia? What do you want with me? Who the slugger are you? I'm inclined to pick that one because there's two potential connotations. Either we're legitimately asking who she is like we forgot, or her identity. I'm sure it's the identity one, but I really want it to be the other, so I'm inclined to pick it. I guess pick what do you want with me because we're supposed to be kind of a vain asshole. How deliciously narcissistic. But come now, do you really think you'll be the one calling the shots here? Prodigal asks, laughing. No, I'm going to tell you exactly what I want, and nothing more, chicken. Then you're going to have quite the choice to make. You quickly decide that you should go grab Jenny, but how are you going to get through the crowd without... No, I can already see that little mind of yours churning. You will tell no one. You will tell no one else about this phone call. Do you want to know why? You nod, not sure what else to do. Because I kidnapped your reporter friend. Oh, and your little sidekick, too, Prodigal says, offering a healthy pause to let that sink in. Now here's the real kicker. If you don't do exactly as I say, Prodigal finishes, they're both going to die. Next. Your heartbeat thunders in your ears. Can that even be possible? What if Prodigal is bluffing? As if on cue, the holographic image shifts so that you can see Sonia and Tarana Rain, both of whom are tied to chairs and gagged. Their stomach drops. Don't bother wondering how I got a hold of them or where we are. You won't have time for silly worries like that. You know you should be terrified for Sonia and Tarana Rain, but one thought crashes through everything else. Tarana Rain was supposed to be with Grandma. Were they still together when Prodigal kidnapped her? And if they were, would Prodigal have any reason to hurt her? Stupid thing. And if anything has happened to her, after the way you left things, straining to focus, you think at Meatship Bunqueequee, drafting a mental text to Jenny. Check on Grandma now. Don't ask questions. I'll explain later. You finish and hope you've practiced the thought command function enough for the text to go through. Now listen carefully, because I'm only going to say this once, Prodigal says, interrupting your thought process. I do feel rather terrible about ruining your big night, so I suppose I'll be a bit generous. I was going to kill both these little darlings, but I think I'll let one live. And that choice, big hero, is entirely up to you. You struggle to keep up. Prodigal can't possibly be asking you to do what you think. You must be joking. Why are you doing this? I don't believe you. I'm not going to play by your rules. I'm hanging up. How do I know if you end up the deal? Inclined to this one. Anyone who watched Who Wants to Be a Superhero back in the day, feel like channeling a little bit of mindset. I will not play your game. That is how it is spelled. Wrong answer, Captain Thunderificent, Prodigal says, holding up a rather nasty-looking handgun. Now I'm giving you quite the opportunity here. You get to save a life. That's every hero's dream, right? Prodigal laughs at herself, enjoying the show very much. So here's how it's going to work. You choose Tarana Rain or Sonia. Whoever you decide to save will be teleported right to your side, and then you can go back to enjoying your big night in peace. The other, well, we won't be seeing them again for quite some time, I fear. This can't be real. You press your brain for some unseen solution, but all you can come up with is trying to stall. You have to buy more time to think about. I'm giving you 2 minutes to make this decision, Prodigal says, once again a step ahead of you. If you fail to do so in the allotted time or try to break the rules in any way, I'll simply shoot them both. So no funny business, you hear? As Prodigal says this, she holds up a clock that begins counting down. 1 minute, 55 seconds remain. How on earth can you make a decision like this? Captain Thunderificent... who the fuck is it? Captain Thunderificent, a voice says from behind you. You twirl to find a president at the HoT board staring at you. Come with me, it's almost time. By the way, have you heard from Sonia? You don't have time for this. What do? I have to go to the bathroom. Please bring my victim to me. I'll go look for her now. I'll go look for her now. Without waiting for the president's response, you run to the bathroom. You need a quiet place to think. By the time you get inside an empty bathroom stall, you only have 50 seconds left on the clock. So who's it going to be? The loyal sidekick? The helpful reporter? Prodigal says, holding up her hands to weigh the options. I do like a nice ethical conundrum. It really does show one's true colors, don't you think? What will good old Captain Thunderificent do? Will he save the reporter who's about to give him the ultimate fame? Or will he save the sidekick who helps him uphold justice? I really can't wait to find out. Oh, 20 seconds left, by the way. Your vision starts to blur. You can't do this. There has to be some other way. Maybe you can send another text to ask for help, but this is not a decision you can make. But as the countdown reaches 10 seconds, you realize that you really don't have a choice. You have to try and save at least one of them. You've definitely been focused on achieving fame as a hero since you started. So you have to ask yourself, would the HoT article come out if Sonia doesn't return? But how could you even care about that if you let Tarana Rain die? She's only a teenager, one who saved your life twice now. You think you might faint, but force yourself to snap back to reality. Time's up, hero, Prodigal says. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. Your body goes numb, but to your surprise, you find one name pulsing through your brain. Your commitment to fame is unwavering. Really, you've already made this choice for yourself over the past few weeks. You have to choose save Sonia. God damn it. I don't want to save Sonia. Yes, I've dedicated myself to fame, but I've also made it clear I don't like this bitch. God damn it. I don't want to lose my asshole sidekick. Look at all the point I friggin' put effort into keeping her relationship relatively high. Fuck. God damn it. Save friggin' bullshit Lois Lane bitch. Thy will be done, Prodigal says, bowing her head. Be seeing you soon, Captain Thunderificent. Before you can respond, the call goes dead. Your stomach turns, hunching over and pulling off your mask just in time. You vomit in the toilet in great spasms. Once done, you wipe the sweat from your brow and try to stand, finding that your legs feel like jelly. How could this... This can't be. Then one thought strikes you. Like, Sonia, what Prodigal's lying to me. Prodigal's an insane murderer. That seems most accurate. We don't care about Sonia. So, like, just none of this should even be a factor. She's a psychopath. That's all we care about. Maybe Prodigal just forced you to choose to torture you, then killed both Sonia and Tarana Rain anyway. Before you can finish that thought, Meat Chip on Queequee appears to recite a text from Jenny. I'm on my way to your apartment. What's going on? Please call me, Arthelio. I don't like this. I should have read that in her voice. Whatever, it's a text. Who cares? Thank goodness. You couldn't handle it if something happened to Grandma. You forced yourself to envision Jenny walking into your apartment and finding Grandma safe and sound, sitting in her recliner and feeding Tropez. That thought calms you for a moment, but then you scream as a loud bang suddenly echoes beside you. You spin around and nearly choke with relief. It's Sonia, who's still gagged and bound to a chair. Not daring to think about Tarana Rain, you rush forward to untie her. No, Sonia says once ungagged, trembling and crying. No, please, no. It's all right, you're safe now, you say, hugging her tightly and praying that this is all some kind of twisted dream. Is Tarana Rain still alive? You're Prodigal keeping you... We do care about Tarana Rain. We don't give a fuck what happened to this bitch. We do want to know if she is. Well, let's ask about Tarana Rain. We give a shit about her. I don't know. Is all Sonia can muster. Sonia, you have to tell me what happened, you say, shaking her a bit. Your nerves are so frayed you can't help it. That prodigal woman ambushed me and I was leaving to come here, Sonia starts. Next thing I know, I was tied up. It was too dark and I had no idea where I was. My meat chip was missing too. Prodigal took it so no one could track me. Are these fucking things like implants? How the fuck? She like cut it out of her? Sonia holds her vacant wrist and the thought of losing meat chip on Queequee sends a wave of fear. Okay, so shouldn't she be bleeding? Is it just like a wristband? Whatever. No, you say. We have to go find Prodigal. Now. I really think we should listen to her, Sonia says. Please? You really don't want to, but Sonia looks so terrified. You can't find it in you to say no. Alright, let's go. You and Sonia run into the main ballroom, but no one even notices. Everyone is transfixed by a video that plays in a large hollow monitor on the front stage. Tarana Rain appears on the monitor, displayed in front of a crowd featuring Mick's finest. All you can think is, yes, she's alive. At least until she starts speaking. Oh, so this is gonna, are they gonna pull some fucking kick-ass burn them alive on tape shit? The hero, Captain Thunderificent 21st Esquire, betrayed me in my hour of need, Tarana Rain says through sobs. I was his sidekick, but he failed to save me after all that I've done for him. I saved his life twice. Captain Thunderificent is nothing but a hack, a danger to society, a selfish sociopath. You hear the words and they cut through you like a knife. Tarana Rain is right. A better hero might have been able to stop this from happening in the first place. A better hero would have protected his sidekick. It was hard choosing Sonia. That's not the right thing to do. Doesn't matter what happened before. All that matters is saving Tarana Rain. Yeah, there we go. That's more accurate. Because we want fame and glory, but we're not a complete fucking asshole. Next. That'll be enough from you, Prodigal says, stepping into frame with her gun raised. There are several screams in the crowd as Prodigal points the gun at Tarana Rain. Tarana, not my baby girl! A woman screams from somewhere nearby. You completely forgot that Tarana Rain's parents were here. This is more awful than you'd possibly imagine. No! Tarana Rain screams. You said if I recited your speech, you'd spare! But that next there's a loud bang. Then silence. God damn it! Why the fuck couldn't I save her instead of reporter bitch? Your name is big whoop achievement. We're named Millennial City Zero tomorrow. Hey there, Millennial City, Prodigal proclaims, turning toward the horrified crowd. I have some breaking news for you. I'm happy to announce that your brand new hero of tomorrow is none other than Captain Thunderificent. Let's give him a round of applause. But all that can be heard are muffled gasps and sobs. And here's another juicy tidbit for you. Captain Thunderificent is really Arthelio Sterling. Though before his time in the Powered Family Protection Program, he was known as Arthelio Voltaire III, Esquire. Prodigal says the words and you struggle to understand exactly what they mean. They sound foreign to you somehow. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Captain Thunderificent is the spawn of the Sound and the Fury, the heroes responsible for the murder of Miss Artillery. The crowd ripples with whispers, but you can't seem to take any of it in. This simply cannot be happening. Yes, folks, you heard it here first. Arthelio Voltaire III, Esquire is Millennial City's hero of tomorrow. And what a bright future Mick will have under Captain Thunderificent's purview. Hailing from a family now responsible for multiple murders. What the fuck is it? Finance breaking news report has been brought to you. Villain of tomorrow, god damn it. Pulling some fucking My Hero Villain League shit. With that, the monitor goes black. And so do you, as everyone in the ballroom turns to look at you and Sonia. That's also when you realize that you never put your mask back on after throwing up. Which means that right now, all of Millennial City can see you for who you really are. This is how your parents must have felt that day when their lives ended forever. You find it hard to breathe. Again, I really should go back and, watch the first one. Didn't they accidentally kill a bad guy? The part last time implied that they killed a good guy, but was the story not that some chick broke into an event and attacked people and then they killed her by accident? That's not a murder. It's manslaughter. There is a distinction. And in this case, while technically, yes, we were involved in the murder, we were responsible in that we made the choice, we still weren't the one who did it. The choice was made under duress. I don't think we could or should be held accountable for that. There's literally nothing we could have done. Next chapter, All Falls Down. The crush of people surging towards you is the only thing that stirs your limbs to move. You grab Sonia and fly above the mass of press and socialites, making your way to the nearest window. As you crash outside, the implications of what just happened begin to settle in. Prodigal has ruined you. You'll never have your big moment, the one where you reveal your true identity as a legend. You'll never be able to redeem the Voltaire III Esquire name. Not now. Not after this. How could this have all even happened? All you can think is that Prodigal must have gotten your personal information out of Tarana Rain before Prodigal did what she did to her. You still can't quite allow the concept to form in your brain. That might make it real. But then, something else strikes you. Tarana Rain should only have known about your Sterling identity. How could she have known about your Voltaire III Esquire identity? Did she somehow put it together from your brunch with Jenny? Stop, you tell yourself. The only thing that matters at this moment is, now that I'm outed, I need to find Grandma, find Prodigal now. Yeah, let's go find Grandma. Any one of your enemies can locate Grandma easily, now that your Sterling identity is compromised. The only thing keeping you sane is the thought that Jenny is on her way up to your apartment right now.
Honey child, me Chipmunk Weekly interrupts. I've been ringing Jenny's non-stop, and she finally answered. Want to chat?
Yes, you shout out loud, wishing me Chipmunk Weekly was upgraded enough to have emergency situation personality simulators. She just doesn't give a fuck. Seconds later, Jenny appears in your mind. I'm almost there. I'll call you the moment I arrive, she says. Jenny, did you... Yes, the Prodigal video is already all over the news. She knew all of Mick's press would be at the party to see what she did. Just breathe, Othelio. We'll figure this out after I found your grandma. I'll call you right back. With that, Jenny hangs up. You just pray she'll find Grandma safe and sound. Who the fuck is talking?
Captain Thunderificent, I can't thank you enough for choosing to save me. I'll always have your back for that, Sonia says, pulling you back to reality. When I should get to my office, maybe I can do some damage control with the press, cast some doubts over Prodigal's claims. You start to respond, but Sonia cuts you off. I can get there on my own, and I'll make sure to have protection. If I learn anything useful about Prodigal, you'll be the first to know. You nod, grateful to Sonia's dizzying pace. Now go get that bitch, Sonia says before vanishing from sight. You try to pull yourself together, but it doesn't help when you catch a glimpse of a nearby jumbotron that displays Mayor Victon's hollow image, addressing the public. Not yet sure how this heinous murder was allowed to happen, he says, but we're certainly going to bring this so-called hero, Captain Thunderificent the 21st Esquire, in for questioning. This is exactly the kind of amateur irresponsibility the Millennia City must begin to... You turn away and tune out, not having time to focus on anything but your next move. You take a deep breath and try to stem the tide of panic that wells up inside you, harnessing the adrenaline coursing through your body. It might be time to ask for help, but who should you call? Millennial Group probably won't come because we, pissed them off. Black Magic would probably come. Though we do want to be a team player. I feel like if we call Black Magic, she'll probably definitely come. If we call the Millennial Group, it'll probably be like Jury who picks up, and he'll be like, "Fuck you." Yeah, Black Magic's probably the best bet. Captain Thunderificent, the 21st Esquire, are you all right? Black Magic asks, panicked. You don't know how to even begin to answer that question, so instead you say, I need your help finding Prodigal. I'll do everything I can, Black Magic says without hesitation. Where are you? Do you need anything else? I'm taking care of it, but I may need protection from my family. Just say the word, they can come to MGHQ. Black Magic, you start, emotions pounding. She's still here for you, even after the way you've been treating her. What way we've been treating her? What did we do? We found out that she takes frickin' people in comas and with special needs and funnels their fluids into a pool for her magic, and we were completely accepting of it and didn't give a shit. How did we treat her badly? I do not recall anything. You try to find the right words, but before you can, Meatchip on Queequeg appears with the call from Jenny. You hold your breath and switch the calls, more nervous than you've ever been. Jenny, is everything... I'm at your place with your grandma, Jenny says, causing you to finally exhale with relief. Until you hear that Jenny's voice is shouting over a din of explosions. You need to get here, there's... The line goes dead. As your blood runs cold, someone is attacking the two most important people in your life right this second. You're in the air before you even realize, flying faster than you ever have before. Why were you not flying already? Like, you flew out with Sonia. I get you probably stopped and put her down. Why were you not still flying after that? Like, put her down, fly again. It doesn't make sense to just been running up until this point. That's slower than flying. 5 minutes later... All attempts to call Jenny during your flight have failed, but you can already see your apartment building coming into view. Next thing you know, you're crashing through your living room window, and it's chaos. All around you, Grandma's plants battle swarms of pool killer robots. The Milo snaps a tentacle arm in two before another pool killer hacks through her stem. You look toward the door and see that Guinea Metalia has already gone up in flames. Forcing that image from your brain, you scan for Grandma and Jenny. Find them huddled in the corner, protected by a thick wall of vines and branches. Pool killers converge on the spot, attempting to break through the leafy barrier. You watch as a vine swings away, giving Jenny a chance to fire her gun with an approaching pool killer. Without thinking, you use an emergency tech override, blast the pool killers, shield Grandma, and let Jenny do the shooting. Tech override surge is probably the best choice, because if we blast them, we want to at least somewhat conserve energy for Prodigal or Jury or whoever the hell we end up having to fight, and this is still a solid option. We don't do defense, and that, our powers could probably do more damage to a pool killer than a gun, so we'll go with the cheap, reasonable option. Focusing all your might, you imagine the robotic cores of the pool killers surging with energy. And as you do, the pool killers begin to convulse and spark pink, crashing to the floor in lifeless heaps. Once the pool killers are down, you rush over to Grandma and Jenny. "We're all right," Jenny says, as she looks like a mess. Her gown is ripped up the side and she bleeds from a small cut on her cheek. "I got here just in time."
"I could have handled those toys on my own," Grandma says, brushing herself off. "But it appears as if I have some replanting to do."
Grandma tries not to show it, but as she looks over to the sliced and charred remains of her indoor garden, you know her heart is breaking. We should go now," Jenny says. "It isn't safe here anymore." "Yes," you say, already moving toward the door. Do you think this was Prodigal or the Splice Circle?
"It was Prodigal," you hear someone say. You spin around to find Tarana Rain standing up. Ah, God damn it. She fucking betrayed us, didn't she?
"Holy slugger, you're alive!" you shout, indescribable joy flooding through you. Prodigal must have faked the death scene. You knew it couldn't be true.
"No thanks to you," Tarana Rain says, tears sliding down her face. "You left me to die, all to ensure your glorious rise to fame."
You have no answer to this. Tarana was right.
"Well, good thing the joke is on you," she says, looking away.
Before you can contemplate what that means, Prodigal suddenly blinks into existence beside Tarana Rain. You instinctively raise your hands to blast her away, until Prodigal holds a gun to Tarana Rain's head.
"Oh, hi, everyone," Prodigal says, smiling wildly. "My dear Miss Rain, so good to see you again."
"She said she'd kill my parents if I didn't do what she said," Tarana Rain says, ignoring Prodigal. "Looks like I was right not to trust in your loyalty wannabe."
You, Jenny, and Grandma all stare, speechless. Your brain feels as if it's stuck in syrup, moving too slowly to keep up. Toronto is for Prodigal. No, Toronto's talking to give up your seat on identity. Talking about giving up your identity. What you think? I knew it. No, we've been completely believing and faithful to her this entire time. Let's continue believing that she's just talking shit. There's no other explanation. Tarana Rain has been through hell tonight. Who the fuck's talking?
"Yes, Miss Rain was rather stubborn about the whole thing, but she played along well enough," Prodigal says, stroking Tarana's hair with her gun. "And I must say, Grandma Voltaire III Esquire, you do make a mean brunch. I forced Tarana Rain to bring me as many leftovers as she could scrounge."
You hear Prodigal's words, it's too much. Everything is wrong. It's all...
"Looks like I have some explaining to do,"
Prodigal says, producing a golden locket out of thin air.
"Let's go somewhere a bit more private to chat, shall we?"
You and Jenny push forward at the same time, but it's too late. The room falls out from under you.
Next chapter, Grand Plans.
Before your eyes flutter open, your first thought is that you really need to invest in some anti-teleportation tech upgrades for your costume.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good idea. Well, yeah. Does that just stop all teleportation, or just ones you want to let happen?
Up to this point, it's only supposed to have been by force. Then as you do open your eyes, your second thought is, where did all the light go? And so when you feel dozens of little legs crawling all over you. Frantic, you reach your arms up, but they smack against the wood. And panic sets in as the reality of your situation crystallizes. You're trapped in a coffin full of spiders. You can only hear the sound of your scream bouncing back as you press your hands to the unmoving lid. Oh, what the fuck? At no point, at least that I remember, did we establish being afraid of spiders. Did we? Was that one of the questions at the start of the game? I don't hold on. Stats? Nope. No terrified of spiders here. I guess maybe it's a possibility. I don't remember that being a thing. Blast your way out, charge the entire coffin to explode, create an energy pulse to kill the spiders, destroy the coffin all at once. Let's just make the coffin explode. Why waste the energy blasting our way out when it achieves the same effect? You charge the coffin with pink energy and rig it to explode as quickly as possible. Suddenly, light bursts into view between chunks of splintered wood and spider carcasses. Spiders! Punch them! Some of the splintered wood cuts into your skin through your costume, but you're just happy to be out. If we charged it to it, shouldn't it have exploded out? Whatever. You look around and find that you aren't free yet. You're still in a large cage made of horizontal metal ball. God damn it.
and Grandma lies unconscious beside you. You rush to her... Wait. Okay, so wait, we're in the coffin in like a big cave. Okay. Thankfully, her pulse is still strong. She's just knocked out. She'll be fine. She dodged the brunt of the attack, Jenny says from nearby. You spin to find she's in a metal cage of her own, unarmed. You've scanned the room for Tarana Rain, but she doesn't appear to be here. Who the fuck is talking? Your energy bounced off the metal bars and hit her, which means you won't be able to blast your way out of these cells. God damn it. You immediately think that meat chip by Kwee knowing you need to get Grandma medical attention. Right here, we need to make a call, dial 911. Look at dial 911. Did they fucking take Bon Kwee? The thought forms, you feel a vacancy somewhere in the back of your mind. Bon Kwee doesn't immediately respond to rate. You raise your wrist. Find a gap to have a crevice where the meat chip. Okay, so it was implanted as you cut it out. Okay, so they're like just dermal? Because considering they're connected to the brain, I would assume they're probably at least like into the flesh to connect with like nerves and shit. How the fuck did Jenny not bleed out from just having it removed? You feel a wave of despair run through you, paired with a jagged rash of loneliness. This is what Grandma feels like all the time without the meat chip. So, unplugged? You turn to Jenny, and even though she's already scanning the room for escape points, she too rubs her wrist anxiously. Who the fuck's talking?
What kind of maniacal evil genius could have laid such an elaborate trap? Prodigal suddenly says, appearing across the room. I mean, spider coffins? Leeched meat chips? Energy-proof cages? It's downright indulgent. Evil extravagance at its absolute finest, don't you think?
Is it gonna turn out that she was like the kid of the bitch that our parents accidentally killed? Or maybe that like she faked her death? I guess that like that could be a twist. She faked the death, or the mayor faked the death to like fuck them over. The fact that they were arrested still doesn't make fucking sense to me. You look over at Prodigal and take in your surroundings. You're in what appears to be some kind of technologically tricked out underground bunker. It smells like a mixture of ripe laundry and frozen dinners. What the fuck do frozen dinners smell like? They're frozen. They don't really have a smell. Then you notice the walls. They're covered with vintage posters of your parents in their Sound and Fury costumes. Every inch is occupied with photos, but they've all been twisted and distorted with graffiti. Then you see the center of the wall, where a life-size photo of you in your Captain Thundervisit costume hangs. What the slugger is this?
Welcome to my luscious lair,
Prodigal said. I keep calling Prodigy. Prodigal says, waving her arm around.
Do you like what I've done with the place, chickens?
Where are we? Who are you? Who are you?
Greedy, greedy, oh so needy. Hold your horses, I'm rigging something up that'll answer all your meddling questions. You meddling kids,
Prodigal says, looking down at a tablet device that appears in her hands.
But if you must know, we're about 3 miles underneath the Big Sur fusion plant.
That's impossible. The BFP powers the entire western portion of America, so its security measures are quite literally impenetrable. It's 30 miles inland from Mick. There's no way you're anywhere within 10 miles of the plant. Otherwise, you'd have been detected instantly.
Your look of skepticism wounds me, Prodigal says. I happen to have the power to generate whatever technology I can imagine, so long as it has some kind of warfare application. Rather bizarre how power sets can make on parameters like that, isn't it? Anyway, bypassing every security measure in the BFP took a long time to sort out, but I eventually worked up the appropriate countertech. This little hideaway is accessible only by telelock. They really are one of my handiest inventions, don't you think?
Okay, so she's like the big bad who invented that shit then? Wait. Okay, so she's basically got like Forge's powers, except she doesn't have to actually build the shit. So like if you combine Forge's power with a Green Lantern ring, I guess. So it explains our Prodigal can make technology and weapons appear out of thin air. If it's true, it can make sense. Prodigal's on Earth artillery way. Powers was to generate kick shields. Yeah, we thought it was to generate kick shields.
But I do tire of explaining myself. It's all right here for you, Prodigal says,
She reaches between the bars and hands you the tablet. You look down at the screen and it reads, the Prodigal Plan. You've got to be kidding me, you say, almost laughing. What are you, a comic book villain? I just hear the frickin' Spider-Man meme in my head. This is starting to sound like a bad comic book plot.
Laugh all you want, but we're in the age of interactive reality, my little Captain Thunderrificent, Prodigal replies with malice. I've captured every step of my rise to villainous legend for the public's pleasure. As a matter of fact, we're rolling now, so make sure to smile for the cameras.
Prodigal gestures towards several floating dots that hover around her. Evidently, these are cameras following your every move.
You reading through my master plan is part of the grand climax, so do hurry along.
You look down at the tablet again, and the holographic menu of options appears under the header, Manifesto. An alluring origin, the arches of enemy, tolls and goals. I'm finished with the manifesto. Throw the tablet. Ooh. On the one hand, I want to know her shit. On the other hand, destruction. I am torn. I want the sick lore, but I also want to be an asshole. I guess just to be like, fuck you, I'm not reading it, achieves that. And we do want to at least be fuck it, we'll read it.
You must be wondering who I am, Prodigal's holographic 3D image says, projecting out of the tablet. So let's cut right to the chase. I'm a bit of a legacy myself. My mother is famous. Or rather, I should say, was famous. You see, Mommy Dearest was murdered when I was but a wee girl by two of the worst heroes to ever walk this earth.
As Prodigal talks, your stomach seizes. It can't be.
That's right, loyal viewers. I am the daughter of the one and only Miss Artillery, who was murdered by the sound of the fury.
Again, manslaughtered.
To sum it up, I am the prodigal daughter, given the gifts of her weaponry prowess before my time, the pinnacle of wasteful extravagance.
So she was a villain. Why did people give that much of a shit if it was an accident and she was a villain? The entirety of this plot makes no goddamn sense. You never knew that Miss Artillery had a daughter. In fact, you never bothered to know much about her life at all, since you blamed her for your parents' fates just as much as Mayor Vic did. Why? She just got murdered. Manslaughtered. My bad. Never occurred to you that there might be someone out there blaming your family for the very same thing.
And it's my life's ambition to become the villainess my mother never could be. In fact, it is my life's ambition to become the world's most legendary terrorist of all time.
It's the arches of enemy.
In every rise to legendary villainy, there must always be an arch-enemy to vanquish,
Prodigal continues in hollow 3D form.
As you probably already know, I have chosen the fine Captain Thunderrificent to be mine. After all, we are inextricably linked by the sins of our parents. The parallels are really quite nice, don't you think? We're both striving for legend to make our fallen parents proud, forever locked in a battle of good and evil, an epic feud played out for all the world to see. It's so wonderfully consonant. After all, heroes can't exist without villains, nor can villains flourish without heroes to crush. And to crush, Captain Thunderrificent, I shall. I'm going to do what Mommy Artillery never could. I'm going to destroy the Voltaire III Esquire family.
I feel like we could probably romance her by the third game unless, like, she dies or some shit. If so, Tarana Rain was always out because she was a teenager. Black Magic, I'm not feeling since she's giving me weird vibes. We can try bone her if we get the opportunity. Tolls and goals.
Naturally, I've been following the Voltaire III Esquires for years, all through the time in the Poofed. One of the perks of being powered to generate wartime tech is access to an uncanny level of surveillance.
As Prodigal's hollow 3D image keeps talking,
You don't even want to think about what that means. The thought that Prodigal has been watching you all this time is terrifying. Of course, I could have killed Voltaire the Third Esquires at any moment, but murdering Captain Thunderrificent directly would be nothing to get me noticed. 'Twould have been but a momentary blip in the great media radar. No, to make a true impact, I needed a sweeping plot, a grand tale of monumental struggle. Most important, I needed Captain Thunderrificent to be a famous hero for his downfall to truly mean anything. So I waited patiently, honing my powers and building a sizable fortune by selling my weaponized inventions, all funded by a nice little nest egg left to me by the Sound and the Furies estate. You have to fight the urge to scream. Prodigal used your parents' estate, the money they made by saving lives as heroes, to fund all of her twisted endeavors. She used the money that should have been yours, the money from your parents' legacy, to build weapons designed only to kill? Her blood boils at the thought. Alright, now we smash it. Fuck yeah. Without even glancing... Okay, I guess it's ignoring the fact that we still watched the whole goddamn thing. Without even glancing down, you toss the tablet to the ground and listen as it cracks in two. You maintain eye contact with Prodigal, making sure she knows you won't be playing by her rules anymore. You already listened to the whole fucking thing. What more did she want out of you?
Well, that was rather rude, Prodigal says through clenched teeth.
You smirk, happy to have pissed her off.
I'm good. Grandma Voltaire the Third Esquire is back with us,
Prodigal says as Grandma begins to stir at your side.
She will want to hear what's coming next.
You immediately squat down and help Grandma up. She nods at you, indicating that she's all right for now. Meanwhile, Prodigal has begun to pace, filmed on all sides by her floating cameras.
And now the time has finally come to break Captain Thunderrificent's spirit. First, I shall make the Voltaire the Third Esquires watch as I murder their beloved agent, Jenny.
Jenny balls up her fists. She's clearly not going down without a fight. Still, cold fear creeps its way into your chest. You have to find a way to escape.
Then I'll make Captain Thunderrificent watch as I kill sweet Grandma Voltaire.
I'm not saying the whole thing anymore. Prodigal says,
I think strangling her with some dead vines will do quite nicely. Such poetic symmetry, don't you think?
This sends you over the edge. Prodigal isn't coming near Grandma ever again. You're about to attack when you see that Jenny holds out a slip of paper through the bars of her cell. Where the slugger did Jenny get a pen and paper? What is this, the 21st century? Especially Grandma's gonna be pissed. You know her thing with paper. You glance at Prodigal, but she's too busy with her monologue performance to notice Jenny's note.
Then I shall commit the ultimate act of my career. I shall finally murder Captain Thunderrificent. It's rather silly that I haven't done so already, but narrative arc demands some dramatic pause. From when he finally does die, I want him to truly be alone, without help or trust left in this world.
But you've already stopped listening to Prodigal, instead deciding whether to risk grabbing the note from Jenny. Yes, maybe Jenny has an escape plan. Only take the note right up to... Yeah, take it. You inch toward Jenny and grab the note without Prodigal seeing. Then you glance down at it and read, You are Infinity 2, powers uncharted. Use when I say, okay? You read these words and force them to digest. What does this mean? What exactly are you capable of?
Then I'll send this little interactive video right to the devoid, Prodigal continues in her own world, ensuring the Sound and the Fury will suffer the way I have suffered. They'll be served the ultimate justice, as I take away their family the way they took away mine. Then it'll be off to the press with my little video project, so everyone can marvel at my evil genius.
Prodigal pauses, evidently winding up for some final unhinged announcement.
Of course, by then, they'll have decimated all of Millennial City with a nuclear holocaust, so people will be very interested in who I am.
Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, Prodigal plunges to a new depth of hell. What did you expect? She based herself under a gigantic fucking reactor, No villain bases themselves in a reactor unless it is to use it or blow it up. This must be why you're under the fusion plant. She's going to somehow cause a nuclear event. Yes, somehow. This is not something you can allow to happen.
Prodigal lets out a ridiculous fake laugh. She's really playing at this villainous thing pretty hard. Which isn't all that stupid, you think. The more convincing her performance, the more people will probably get to tune into her little video project, no doubt.
Only then will I be the most legendary villainess of all time, Prodigal says. After I achieve the greatest act of terrorism ever committed on American soil, Captain Thunderificent will be known as the most useless hero of all time, and I will become a living legend.
Prodigal finally stops pacing and takes a massive breath, immensely pleased with herself.
Now then, let's do some killing, shall we?
Here I go killing again. Chapter 19, The Prodigal Daughter. I think this is like the penultimate chapter. I looked it up. There's like 20-something. Maybe like one more chapter after this and an epilogue. Either way, we're making good time.
Captain Thunderificent, the 21st Esquire. Now, Jenny shouts. Your powers aren't just about energy and flying. You can manipulate atoms and control gravity.
You can what? Oh, it was Jenny talking. My bad.
Excuse me, Prodigal says, the smile disappearing from her face.
It's true, Grandma says at your side. We didn't want you to know the things you can do.
Wait, how could Grandma and Jenny have kept this from you? How could they just keep fucking betraying our trust?
Don't try and use the
Wait, who the fuck's talking?
Don't try and use the atomics, Captain Thunderificent. It's too unstable here under the plant, Jenny barks.
God, every time.
Bend gravity. You have to do it now.
What on earth is Jenny talking?
You've always been the most annoying Jennifer.
Prodigal interrupts, pointing her laser gun at Jenny. You only have a second to react. Attempt to use gravity infinability. Toss some grenade and marbles at Prodigal to slow her down. Throw an energy shield. Yeah, no, fuck it. Go with the gravity. You react blindly, trying to extend your flight powers to Prodigal somehow. You feel a stab of pain rip through your abdomen as your levels drop dangerously. However, Prodigal's gun does shift to the right, causing the laser blast to miss Jenny by inches. This buys you precious seconds before you get more instructions.
Just focus on the feeling you get when you fly and apply it to the cage bars.
You lock your eyes on the metal bars and tense your muscles the way you do when you want to fly, but instead of lifting your own body, you focus on lifting the bars. With enormous strain, you watch as the bars twist and pull upward, making enough space for you to escape. It's unreal. You feel like you may have used half your power level to do this, but it doesn't matter, you're free. It's time to take Prodigal down. Okay, no, it's still decently over half. Okay, knock Prodigal out with one powerful energy blast. Fight Prodigal. Come on! We can't do a Wonder Woman attack. That's like our signature thing. Damn it. Drain Prodigal's health to boost my power. Fight Prodigal close range. But we'll drain her. Drain the bitch dry. It's not a move you like to use often because it could be lethal if used improperly. But the kid gloves are off now with Prodigal. You extend a pink energy cord that latches onto Prodigal's arm and immediately begins to leech health. Prodigal reacts quickly, flipping backward and generating one of her kick shields. The energy drain breaks and you realize Prodigal will be able to block most of your long-range attacks. So it's time to go close range. Did we get anything out of it? No! We wasted 5 points. Fuck. You rush at Prodigal, generating a layer of pink energy. Oh, okay, well, at least we didn't use the cannon blast. You need a layer of pink energy armor around yourself for protection. Ready to strike, you construct an energy weapon to attack with. A sword, a giant hammer, a boxing glove. They're all the same? Fuck it. Boxing gloves. You throw a punch at Prodigal, your fist wrapped in a giant pink boxing glove. Prodigal ducks under your blow with impossible speed, then swirls around to kick you in the face. Luckily, Your energy armor takes the brunt of the blow. Prodigal quickly disarms you by blasting you point blank with another oversized plasma gun. You feel your energy armor fall away, so you strike out with your knee, connecting with Prodigal's stomach. She groans and drops her weapons. You step back to strike again, but Prodigal moves faster, whipping her fist at your face. You feel one of her fingers break as it connects with your jaw, cracking a molar. You both howl with pain, staggering away from each other. You spit out bits of shattered tooth and blood. You notice out of the corner of your eye that Grandma's begun to climb out of the gap you made in the cage. Seeing Grandma's all right, you decide it might be time to recharge. Your power level's at 45 and your health at 60. Do you think you need to recharge to survive this brawl? Health is pretty high. Most of our attacks don't use more than 5. I'm gonna play the risk game and not change it. As you turn back toward Prodigal, something hot rips into your hand, causing you to scream. While you were distracted, Prodigal blasted you with one of her weapons, though her aim is a bit off, it seems. At least that's what you think, until you look down and see Prodigal's blast has incinerated your parents' silvered ring. All that remains is a charred band of ash. Prodigal knew exactly what she was aiming for.
Oh, did I destroy your precious?
Prodigal says, smiling once again.
How clumsy of me.
The sight of the destroyed ring makes your vision flash red. This ends now. Lash out with my infinite ability, silence Prodigal with my fists. I don't want to risk using the power in case we have to use it for something. Plus, I don't necessarily want to risk killing her. I'm pretty sure she's like the main villain and comes back in the later ones. So even if we do like attempt to kill her now, it won't do anything. Fuck, let's just beat the shit out of her. You hurl yourself at Prodigal, your hands reaching at her throat, but she reacts quickly, nailing you in the stomach with a kick. Ignoring the pain, you spin around and fling your fist into the base of Prodigal's skull. With a loud, choking noise, Prodigal falls forward, landing on the ground in a limp heap. You stare down at Prodigal, breathing heavily. In the Hollow movies, they make it seem like you can take down a dozen hits and still remain standing. But you know the truth. One critical blow is all it takes to do some serious damage. Alright, throw her in the pile and light her on fire. Cautious hero rules. With Prodigal down for the count, you turn back to the cages and find that Grandma has already freed Jenny. Who the fuck's talking?
That was very impressive, Captain Thunderificent, Grandma says. I only wish I'd gotten a piece of her.
I fucking love her. She doesn't give a shit. You're too furious to celebrate. Why didn't you tell me Miss Artillery had a daughter? Why didn't you tell me this was Phoenix class power ability? I warned you that inviting her... Oh, okay. I feel like the Infinite class ability is the main thing. She probably didn't know this shit. At least maybe didn't know. And we didn't do any of that. We were pretty much fully on board with her from day one. Yeah, we're gonna ask, why did you tell me about the Infinite class powered ability?
We didn't want you to be overwhelmed, Grandma says. We wanted you to be ready for...
You had no right to keep this from me, you shout.
I wanted to tell you, but your grandma was right, Jenny says. The things you'll be able to do, it might be better not to even explore that kind of power, Abdelio. That's a decision I should have been able to make for myself. It's not your place to... We don't have time for this, Jenny yells. We need to find a way out of here now. Forcing your frayed nerves to calm, you scan the room and immediately spot the telelog that brought you here, sitting on a computer console across the bunker. But as you move to retrieve it, you also realize that Prodigal isn't on the ground anymore. Prodigal is up. Everyone get close, you shout, ready to generate an energy shield. There'll be no need for that, Prodigal says. You, Grandma, and Jenny all spin to find Prodigal now standing in the corner of the bunker, wearing some kind of elaborate metal bodysuit. Before any of you can react, Prodigal plugs 2 large syringes into her veins. Then she screams. What the fuck? It's done, Prodigal says, composing herself. I'll make this very simple for all of our loyal viewers at home. I have created the ultimate weapon. A machine that generates a solid wall of energy stretching 10 miles high and wide. As Prodigal speaks, she doesn't look so good. She started to sweat. Her cheeks have turned a pale shade of yellow. We're under the Big Sur fusion power plant, because I needed a power source of nuclear proportions. Now that I've tapped into the reactor above, the wave has activated. It's set to sweep from here to the ocean, decimating Millennia City in its wake. Wait. She injected herself with something, and that caused an energy wave from the nuclear... Okay. Whatever. Once Prodigal finishes speaking, a video monitor sparks to life, displaying a solid black wall of energy moving across the remains of Burns State Park, which was paved over to build Mick years ago. As the miles-wide death wave moves, it incinerates everything in its path. Luckily, there's nothing but wildlife between the Big Sur fusion plant and Millennia City, but it can't be long before the wave reaches the outskirts of the city. Grandma and Jenny both gasp. You raise your hands to attack. Okay. Destroyed suit with an energy blast. Okay, we know she can deflect energy blasts for other shit. Fry it with an energy surge. Riddle her suit with marble Again, I feel like she could probably block the marble explosions with her shield shit, so I'm going to go with the energy surge. That's worked out well for us so far. Not so fast, Prodigal screams. Blasting the generator won't help. I was sure to make it rather durable. Impervious, one might say. It's got a coating of some delicious new metal I brewed up called madnium.
Okay, I'm sure that's supposed to be, like, madness, but I'm just thinking she fucking loves John Madden. And I'm just picturing the generator with his fucking face on it. It's hilarious.
You hesitate for a moment, then jump as a loud bang echoes across the cave. You return to Jenny, who's picked up one of Prodigal's guns and fired it at the generator suit. But the shot just bounces off the generator's sleek metal surface and doubles back, knocking Jenny clean off her feet. Grandma rushes to her side. She indicates that Jenny is alive, just unconscious. The blast only stunned her. Thanks, Slugger.
Okay, what the fuck? What fucking irritates me about freaking bullshit future slang. What is slugger supposed to mean? Generally, they seem to, like, imply it's a placeholder for, like, fuck or shit. I guess thank fuck is what that's supposed... It doesn't flow well. Like, when frickin' 2099, they went with what the shock, at least it ended with two of the same letters as fuck. So it kind of flowed right. Whatever, fuck it. Slugger it, I suppose.
Told you so, Prodigal whines. My powers are directly fueling the generator, along with the nuclear boost. Hence the need for this rather slimming bodysuit. So long as my heart is still beating, the wave marches on.
Oh, that old chestnut.
Which I'm afraid leaves us in another rather harsh reality.
No. Not again, you think, following Prodigal's logic.
The only way to stop the wave now is to kill me, Prodigal says, locking eyes with you. It looks like you have another moral dilemma to face, Captain Thunderificent. Become a cold-blooded murderer to save millions of lives, or spare me and risk the death of an entire city.
Your heart pounds. You can't possibly make a choice this big.
Are you serious? God damn it. I guess I've just gotten so used to fucking games with moral systems letting endings and important shit be a choice that I really like. This is the correct thing to do. Let the choices you make hinder other choices. That is how it should work, but it's still infuriating because I feel like it's not really entirely in character. Who the fuck's talking?
Oh, and the wave hits the first populated area in about 20 seconds. The very edge of the eastern fringes, no less, Captain Thunderificent. Your very own hometown. How fetchingly fitting. So let's pull it together, shall we? Why is Prodigal doing this? She really wanted all these people to die. She'd never tell you how to stop her.
Besides, Prodigal can't really want you to kill her, can she? Makes no sense, but then again, Prodigal doesn't exactly seem to be the picture of sanity. In her mind, this is probably win-win. Whatever you do, she believes she'll become a legend. No, you can't. You can't choose.
Thelio, it's all right, Grandma says, placing a hand on her shoulder. Just do what your parents would have done. Murder her by accident?
You stare into Grandma's eyes and she nods back at you resolute. You know exactly what you need to do. You've gotten this far by ignoring the law, and it's not gonna stop you now. For you, the choice is as good as made. Kill the bitch. You charge a deadly surge of energy in your forearms, locking eyes with Prodigal. Oh, Captain Thunderificent, Prodigal says, a sad smile crossing her face. Without hesitation, you unleash a torrent of energy. Prodigal screams as the blast rips a hole through the exposed part of her chest. She lingers for a few seconds before her body finally slumps to the ground, a smile twisted across her face. You stare at Prodigal, mouth open. You just killed someone. Grandma doesn't say anything and you can't bear to look at her. Instead, you turn to the screen to find the wave has stopped. You did it. You defeated Prodigal and saved the city. But at what cost? Next chapter. Equal and opposite. You sit in Jenny's apartment, wrapped in a blanket, a cup of steaming tea in front of you. Grandma's resting and Jenny is taking a shower, which leaves you alone, sitting in your costume, not quite able to move. You just feel... We don't want to be a complete fucking lunatic, so relieved is maybe not quite... I feel like overwhelmed is probably the best choice. What happened tonight was surreal. Your life has been ripped to shreds. Prodigal tried to take everything from you. Your sidekick, your secret identity, your reputation, your privacy, your accomplishments, your career, your chance at a legendary reveal, and the things Prodigal made you do, the choices she forced you to make. You never once imagined that being a hero would be this hard. Was it always meant to be this way? Was Prodigal right? Were you two always destined to ruin each other? The way your parents did? After all Prodigal has done, I don't know what's real. I refuse to let Prodigal take away my ability to trust. I refuse to allow Prodigal take away my ability to trust. I'm still confident in my decisions. Where the fuck are my stats now? How is it unchanged? I fucking murdered someone. How am I still 6% lawful? What do I have to do? Also, sidekick 1%. Fuck you. Fuck that. That should have been a way for me to, like, still have her on my side. That's fucking stupid. Also, I murdered someone in front of Grandma. How is family still 87%? So what if you've been surrounded by lies? Now you know to look harder for the truth. But you can't help but think, now you're a murderer. Just like your parents. Parents weren't murderers. It was an accident. This is going to irritate me I'm going to go through the rest of the series eventually. This is going to irritate me every goddamn time it comes up. You killed Prodigal. Sure, you did it to save lives, but the fact remains you've taken a life. So I'll do it again. I hate that it had to come to that. Well, it may have been wrong to use fatal force. It was what the... Yeah, there we go. It was wrong, but it was necessary. Reasonable. It was a tough call, but you can't imagine having made a different decision. Maybe if you'd had just a bit more time to think it through. Though you have no idea what happened to Prodigal's body. Right after the wave stopped, her corpse vanished. It was a fake. I am calling it. Now, she must have had some war tech rigged to remove her body if she were ever to die, or at least that's what Jenny thinks. It was a fucking robot or a clone or some shit. She's gonna come back. This is fucking Superhero 101. Same goes for Prodigal's interactive video masterpiece. It was automatically released to the press the moment of the death wave went active. In the wake of the wave, your grand battle with Prodigal has become a must-see news item. It's being viewed right now across all of Mick, maybe even across the nation. But at the end of it all, the fact remains that you saved Millennia City. Period. You succeeded in stopping the worst act of potential terrorism on American soil, and now the entire city knows it. However, you also killed someone to do it. Even though many people must be congratulating your bravery, just as many people will probably ask if there could have been any other way. And the game isn't out. I think that was one. Did I have that one already? No, so I need to end the game as a badass, finish the game with perfect legend score, and do put Archibald Fist. Yeah. I vaguely recall from years ago when I played this, had the opportunity to, like, out him for using steroids or some shit. I don't know, maybe I'll play it again on my own, just rack those up, finish it out, whatever. Hello, Jenny says as she walks in, scrubbing behind your ears with a towel. How are you? You give Jenny a look. Does she even have to ask? I know you've been through hell tonight, she says, sitting next to you. There are some decisions we have to make right away.
Whatever it is, it can wait until morning, you say, barely even recognizing your own voice. It sounds tiny, bouncing between your ears. No, actually it can't. I replugged my Me chip and I've just been through my messages. You and Jenny managed to scrounge up your Me chips before porting out of Prodigal's lair. You've been anxious to reconnect, but also afraid of what you'll find when you do. You'd much rather hear whatever news is coming in through Jenny's right now. Jenny looks at you, growing stern. Nothing has been decided for certain yet, but it's looking like they might try to press criminal charges, Arthelio, for murdering Prodigal. The words slide off of you. You find it impossible to absorb much of anything at this point. I know you did your best to save whoever you could, Jenny tries. But it seems your lawless track record is coming back to bite you. The McPD will know to come looking for you here soon. What do you want to do?
Evade the police.
The law doesn't matter to me, you say. I'm not going to start bending to its will now, especially when I was only trying to save lives. Jenny sighs. If that's what you want, we'll figure out how to keep you hidden. Luckily, we shouldn't have to worry about that for another couple of hours while they sort through the mess. At least I have a bit of money saved up. I should be able to lie low for a while. Forgive me if I'm not bouncing with excitement, Jenny says, massaging her temples. You don't deserve this at all, Othelio. Of course, you agree, but that doesn't seem to matter much. Next, we have to decide how to handle the press of it all, Jenny says, looking more tired than you've ever seen her. If she looks that rough, you don't even want to know how you look like. I want to make a public statement, you say. We've been more focused on maintaining the right kind of fame. So you're going to have a say in how this goes to the public. Sonia's doing everything she can to work things in your favor. Looks like you acquired an unofficial PR point person. Saving her was the smartest thing you've done all night, unexpectedly enough. But Jenny stops herself, knowing far better than to bring up the mess with Tarana Rain. Anyway, she'll run your statement. I'll film it and send it to her now. What do you want to say? You pause for a moment, knowing that you want to keep things short and unrehearsed. All I want to say is that I did the best I possibly could under the circumstances. I was the best here I can be. I assess that we can terrible events. Some family, friends are spared. If you have something to say, please say it about me. What do you may think about what I've done? Just know that I try to serve the greater good at all times. I have, hopefully, the lives I spared speak to that. I want to reach out to Tarana Rain and the McNeil family to offer my sincerest apologies. I wish things could have been different. Did she die, though? Like, the floor gave out before we saw if she pulled the trigger or not. I feel like it's either trying to be the best hero we can be, or they try to serve the greater good. I think we're trying to be best. Let's go with the greater good angle.
Noted, Jenny says, commanding her meat chip to send. I do so relish being your secretary, by the way. Jenny, cracking a joke, actually manages to make you feel better. Or a bit more normal, at least. Oh, here's a bit of good news. Sony made sure the HoT profile was still published. It's already been in the most polarizing popular edition ever, apparently, which means you still get the grant check. You always thought making him out like 100,000 would feel like the best thing in the world. But somehow, after everything that happened tonight, it only feels like a small consolation prize. Tarana Rain is back with her parents safely, Jenny says, moving on. It's been quite a night, but after Prodigal kidnapped us and left her behind, she went straight home. Jenny pinches her elbow once again, and you brace yourself. Arthelio, Tarana's parents never want me to see her again, you finish? Jenny nods. However you feel about Tarana, you know that's probably for the best. You may detect it. There's no way I could have known. Tarana Rain may have had her flaws, but Prodigal put her in an impossible situation. It wasn't really her fault, though you'll definitely think twice about ever taking on another sidekick again. Silence ensues, and to your surprise, you find that your head isn't even spinning anymore. Perhaps you're finally getting used to the level of insanity your life has reached. Then, Grandma enters the living room, and you get to reeling again. Grandma looks so sad, you just want to hug her, but you still haven't forgotten all the lies she told you. What do you say to her? Just ask her how she is. Be very direct.
I'll be alright,
Grandma says, sitting next to you. You really want to believe her, but you can tell she's not at all right. She's not all right. You can tell she's as not all right as you are right now. Well, it's good you're up, because I have some bad news, Jenny says. Your place in the poof to Sterling's is pretty much useless now that you've both... I fucking had it for a minute. I'm publicly noted by Prodigal. The poof is most certainly going to kick you out. So the hits just keep coming. What is that going to mean for your life for you and Grandma? Everything's going to change now that everyone knows who you are in every possible way. You suppose this is just the first shift? Don't worry, there are already talks of launching a special program to offer you both protection, Jenny says. But even still, you're going to have to move. Probably for to rent a new, nicer place, safe place for the hot money. Find something in the fringes that's our home, whatever. Better, safer place with the hot money. Grandma and Jenny both nod. That sounds like the best idea. Another silence ensues, and you know exactly what's on everyone's mind. When are you going to mention Jenny and Grandma's big Infinite-class powered lie? Are you going to talk to Grandma about the letters she forged? How else can do? Grandma, how could you forget those letters? Forged letters for me. Is there anything else you do? Yeah, there we go. That's kind of relevant.
Listen to me, Arthelio, Grandma says, taking your hand. I want to clear the air about a few things. Anything I've ever done, I did because I thought that's what was best for you. May have been wrong to write your parents on your behalf, but I knew someday you'd regret having stopped.
Who the fuck's talking?
I know you feel like your parents abandoned you, but they had no choice. But you abandoning them, that was your choice. And there's a difference, Arthelio. A big difference.
Grandma's words sink in, and as much as you don't want to hear them, you know she's right.
That being said, if tonight has proven anything, it's that you're all grown up. You're not a child anymore, and I need to realize that. So I won't write another letter, I promise. That choice is up to you now.
Thank you, Grandma, you say, feeling a bit better, but you're not quite finished. And my powers? You look from Grandma to Jenny, and they both sigh.
This new level of power you have, no one's seen anything like it before, Grandma starts. The experts always said it might be possible in powered legacy children, but we weren't sure.
At least not until your powers started flaring around technology, Jenny says, cutting in. We know the origins of all powers is rooted in technological evolution, which is why your new powers behave strangely when mingling with technology. They say that's the first sign of infinite-class power, an odd interference with tech. Fuck. At least that's the working theory for now. So, okay, so then is freaking Prodigal like our evil equivalent with her freaking techie powers?
All we did know was that the kind of power can change a person,
Grandma finishes.
We just wanted to protect you, to wait till you were sure you were mature enough to handle the responsibility. After all, look at the power did to Prodigal.
You look from Grandma to Jenny and then say, I understand, but I'm not a prodigal, so it wasn't your decision to make. All you say, but I'm prodigal. Reasonable.
Grandma and Jenny stay silent, which you know means they think you're right. But they're not quite finished. Fuck's talking. Listen, what's done is done. I think we need to start over with a clean slate, right here and now. No matter what, there can't be any more secrets. We all need to trust each other. There's too much at stake now. We have to be honest with each other about everything, alright? Grandma and Jenny both nod, seemingly impressed with your speech. All you can do is hope that they'll continue to take this seriously. Oh, and Grandma, you say. You're definitely getting a meat chip installed. You don't have a choice in the matter. Grandma opens her mouth to protest, but catches herself and nods once again.
I'm very proud of you, Barthelio, Grandma says. You're a hero. Don't let anyone ever tell you differently.
Jenny looks at you, reaffirming Grandma's thoughts. All you can think is, what would you do without these two? For a moment, sitting there with Jenny and Grandma, you start to feel right again. Final chapter, sitting in the morning sun. Once showered and changed, you sneak up to the roof. You've got to be moving on soon. Jenny found a temporary safe house for you and Grandma to stay in, until you find a more permanent place to settle. But before you go there, you need a moment alone to clear your head. And nothing helps you do that like taking the mixed skyline, which is currently set against the rising sun. How are you feeling after everything that's happened over the past few weeks? It's a rocky road, went farther along than when I started, had some unique ups and downs. Despite what Prodigal did to me, the early development curve is a good sign. I'll just keep rising. Oh, despite what Prodigal did to me, trying to be optimistic. Nothing is like you expected it to be. You think back to your naive self just a few short weeks ago and can barely recognize that person. It seems that entering the real world is only meant to having to accept harsh realities, and realizing that hope hope isn't always enough. After all that's happened, it would be so easy not to trust people, to expect things not to work out for you because more often than not, they just don't. But you're starting to understand that it takes a very strong person to be able to hold on to hope, to still expect great things, even when there's no reason to. You've come a long way, but you know you've still got miles left to go to end up where you want to be. It may take a lot of hard work and patience, but you're never going to stop. Another typo. One thing's for sure, though. You've definitely arrived in Millennia City. By the time the sun finishes rising, everyone in the city is going to know your name. But how the public perceives you is entirely based on your legend level. Bonquiqui, you think, feeling much better now that you've reconnected with your meat chip. Check my legend level and my status on the legend report, please. The familiar image of meat chip Bonquiqui appears in your mind. This time wearing a naughty nun outfit. God damn it.
You got it, honey child, she says with a lipstick-coated smile. Though I gots to confess, I missed you like crazy pants while I was cut. Jesus Christ. Dude, don't go to spare me. I have quite a bit to fill you in up. Yeah, we got a dish with Bonquiqui. Meatchip Bonquiqui beams at you before fading under your legend level, which is landed at level 59. Scrolling down, you start to read your legend report. Your legend has achieved a level that is above average. You could have ended with a level as high as 70, or conversely in the negatives. And despite all that you've been through, your reputation has managed to hold strong thanks to the choices you've made. You are generally liked by mixed public, who see you as a hard-working underdog with lots of promise. It seems that your fame actually means something since you've begun to construct a positive image. Looks like your focus on fame over justice has really paid off. Given how your legend level and perception and Mick have turned out, how do you feel about your place in the heroic world? Great, unsure, terrible. Let's go with great. Fuck it. You've done all you could and risen high in a very short amount of time. What more could you ask for? Your meat chip buzzes and you expect a call from Jenny telling you to come back downstairs. But when you see that it's black magic calling instead, your stomach does a somersault. Seeing her call is such a relief. She really came through for you when you needed it the most, so you answer right away.
Are you all right? Black Magic says, appearing in front of you. You immediately feel warm at the sight of her. I will be, I think so. No. I think so. Well, I'm here if you need anything, Black Magic says. I know you probably don't have much time right now, but I just had to call. I needed to ask you. Black Magic pauses. Even with her brow furrowed that way, she still looks more gorgeous than you can stand. Will you ever be okay with my secret? Black Magic asks. With who I really am. You stare at Black Magic, considering her answer carefully.
Were we not accepting of it? Like, what the fuck? I could have sworn we chose, yeah, it's fine, you do you. What the fuck?
Worry, I'm totally fine with it. Yes, I'm not sure. Yeah, fine. Whatever. I'm so happy to hear that, Black Magic says, practically glowing. I may have to lie low for a little bit, but we'll figure it out, you say. I'd really like that, Black Magic replies. We'll talk soon, you say, aching just to see Black Magic smile. You really want to give this a shot, if you can. See if things with Black Magic are as special as you think they could be. It looks like you'll have the chance to. You turn to walk back downstairs, because it's time to move on. Prodigal's been taken down, the supply circle is dismantled. You settled things with Black Magic and the Millennial Group. You were named Mix HoT. One way or another, you've made some money, and you've saved countless lives. You're ready to move on and face whatever comes next with Jenny and Grandma by your side. Even after everything that has happened, you feel a spark of excitement. Think about what the future holds for you. Because no matter what, you can now call yourself a powered hero. And no one can take that away from you. Epilogue. The letter V. Interesting choice. You open the staircase door when you hear someone say your name. You turn to find Mayor Victon standing across the roof, his folded arms crinkling an expensive suit. Just thought it was my duty as mayor to check in on Millennial City's fastest rising hero, he says. Or fastest falling, depending on your perspective. What do you want? I have nothing to say to you. Fuck you! Well, I have something to say to you, so stay put for a second, he says, losing the smile. As Mayor Victon walks towards you, the breeze carries a whiff of his sharp cologne. You have to force yourself not to gag. I relate. Oh, jury sense is best, by the way, Mayor Victon says, handing you a hollow card. You look down and, of course, the card is a shirtless headshot of Jury. You shake your head and flip the hollow card over, reading. So sorry to hear what happened with Prodigal, cutie. Looks like you're getting everything in life you deserve. Fuck you. Clenching your jaw, you drop the hollow card and let it sweep into a pile of dirt. Oh, not in a chipper mood, are we? Mayor Victon starts. Well, that's all right. I just came here to say one thing. What Prodigal did to you was terrible. No one should have to go through what you did. You hear Mayor Victon, and all you think is, what's his angle? Indeed, I've been tracking Prodigal since Miss Artillery's death. She had quite a troubled childhood. She spent her entire life fending for herself, without anyone who cared about her. Despite the fortune she eventually inherited, I believe she ended up living in a sewer drain for some time, then an abandoned asylum, which explains her lack of documentation or her rather unique disposition. Anyway, that's all rather irrelevant. You can't help but feel the slightest bit of pity for Prodigal. Is that what would have happened to you if you didn't have Grandma? Whatever is relevant, however, is the fact that I've known Prodigal's existence for quite some time now. I suppose I could have had her committed or arrested at any time, but I just wanted you to know that I chose not to. Mayor Victon smiles at you once again, a cruel, lifeless smile. You see, little Othelio, I may not be able to attack you openly, not with that pesky last name of yours, but there are more than one ways to skin a cat. You stare at Mayor Victon, balling up your fists. No, but Prodigal all his time did nothing to stop her attack, taking credit for something he didn't just do just to intimidate me. Yeah, he would have sacrificed the and just let her ruin me. Could he really be that soulless? Whatever the case may be, it appears you are right to assume that you're at war with the victims. More to the wise, I'm going to become president someday, Othelio. Mayor Victon says in a low voice. I will crush anyone who stands in my way. Just ask your parents. At this, you turn your back to Mayor Victon. You're not even going to dignify his presence with a response. We'll see about that, you whisper. As you walk away, all you can think is this. Prodigal's the only villain left to take down. Do everything trying to make sure his life goes up in flames. Yo! I don't give a fuck. Clearly there is more to it than we think. And he's not the only one. No, we will do everything in our power to make sure his life goes up in flames. If I remember correctly, when I was looking through the 3 games to figure out what order they go in, I think the third was like, would a hero kill a president? Which means we are gonna kill him. Like I said at the start, they may be judge and jury, but we're the executioner. But that's a task for another day. Because more than anything, this last visit with Victon has made you feel one thing with absolute certainty. So you walk back downstairs into Jenny's apartment, flooded with determination. We need to get going, Jenny says as you enter. I know, but I need to do something first, you say. Right now. Without waiting for Jenny's response, you walk into her bedroom and say to Miche Bonquiqui, draft document and record. Bonquiqui complies, appearing to jot down your words on a sheet of hollow paper. Before you start, you glance down at your finger, the one that used to hold the silver ring, until the Prodigal destroyed it. The ring may be gone, but burned into your skin are the words, My heart will go on. The lyrics wrap around your finger, branded in place like a tattoo, forever imprinted upon you. And staring at those words, you finally find the courage to speak. Dear Mom and Dad, you say, the words immediately feel like a weight lifted from your shoulders. What would tell you, ever hear the one about the prodigal daughter? I miss you. It's what I miss you. You hear someone at the door and turn to find Grandma standing there, her eyes brimming. But she doesn't say anything. She simply nods at you and turns to go, leaving you to the task at hand. As you begin to write the long overdue letter to your parents, you are filled once again with a sense of purpose, for you are reminded what makes you a hero. Legend Guide, and unlock the Legend Guide. I don't care. Congratulations for attaining above average legend level. You've unlocked a Legend Guide, which lists the decisions and everything necessary to achieve perfect legend score. Use it wisely. Okay, big fucking whoop. I could have looked this up before I fucking started. I do not care. Actually, I'm pretty sure I had this already, because, like, yeah, it's been open, like, the entire time, because I fucking played through this game before. Whatever. Ending. Please save your game below. You'll need to... Okay, type in a name for your save game. Captain... God damn it. Thunderificent... Fucks the bitches. Now, Captain Thunderificent shall ride again. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, semicolon, exclamation point. Log into the choice game save system with your... What? Okay, I don't need that. Hold on. Yeah, no, whatever. God damn it. Fuck it, I'll use the channel one. Whatever. Next. I hope the fucking scale of 1 you recommend for game for... Fine, 10. Sequels now. I already have it. And for a complete list of works, that, I don't care. If I play again next. Alright, and that is it. We have completed the tale of Captain Thunderfist the 21st Esquire. I don't think I'll go right into the sequel immediately, either Thursday or next Tuesday, whenever I do a solo stream next. I have not decided. I think I might do a visual novel next, either a visual novel or a dating sim. I haven't decided. Maybe if I get more into the swing of things, I'll start doing like something like this on Tuesdays and dating sims on Thursdays. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But come back next Tuesday for another Smiley solo stream. And as always, I'll see all of you lovely people next up.